You've been doing it all wrong. Every time you ask for intimacy, you're actually killing her desire for it. Every desperate text, every needy hint, every time you beg for her attention or affection, you're teaching her brain to see you as sexually irrelevant. But what if I told you there's a psychological way to create intimacy that makes her crave you instead of avoid you? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how female desire works, why your current approach is backfiring, and the precise psychology that makes a woman desperately want to be intimate with you without you ever having to ask. You're watching Talk Raw. We break down the chaos of love, sex, mental health, and everything you're too afraid to talk about.
Here's what most men don't understand about female sexuality. It's not activated by desperation, it's activated by emotional safety combined with masculine presence. When you approach intimacy from a place of need, you're signaling to her subconscious that you lack self-control, confidence, and options. Her body literally responds by shutting down because neediness triggers her psychological defense systems. But there's a way to flip this completely.
Let's be brutally honest about what's happening in most relationships right now. Men have been conditioned to either be overly aggressive or completely passive about intimacy. They either come on too strong, making women feel unsafe and objectified, or they wait around hoping she'll make the first move, which kills the masculine polarity she craves. Both approaches fail because they don't understand the delicate psychology of how female desire actually builds.
And here's the tragic part. Most men interpret rejection as permanent when it's actually just poor timing or approach. When she says no or pulls away, instead of understanding that her desire operates on different cycles and triggers than his, he becomes more desperate, more pushy, or completely withdrawn. This creates a downward spiral where the more he wants intimacy, the less attractive he becomes to her.
The first thing you need to understand is that female arousal is largely psychological, not just physical. While men can become aroused relatively quickly through visual or physical stimulation, women need their minds engaged first. Their bodies follow their emotions. This means that how you communicate, the energy you bring, and the emotional safety you create determines whether her body opens up or shuts down to you.
Think about it this way. When a woman feels emotionally connected, understood, and safe with you, intimacy becomes her idea, not something you're trying to convince her to do. But when she feels pressured, judged, or like you're only interested in her body, her nervous system activates protective mechanisms. She might comply sometimes, but she won't crave you. And craving is what creates passionate, fulfilling intimacy.
Here's the psychology most men miss. Women don't want to be asked for intimacy in the traditional sense. They want to be seduced into wanting it themselves. This isn't manipulation. It's understanding how feminine desire naturally flows. When you create the right emotional and psychological conditions, her body starts responding before her mind even realizes it's happening. She feels drawn to you, curious about you, magnetically pulled toward intimacy.
But here's where most men go wrong. They try to create this attraction through words instead of presence. They think if they say the right thing, she'll want them. But attraction isn't created through what you say as much as how you make her feel when you're around her. It's your energy, your confidence, your ability to remain calm and centered while creating subtle tension and anticipation.
Let's talk about what this looks like practically. Instead of saying, "Do you want to have sex?" or "I'm really horny," you create moments where intimacy feels natural and inevitable. You pay attention to her emotional state, her stress levels, her need for connection. You create physical and emotional safety first. You build anticipation through touch, attention, and presence rather than through direct requests.
For example, instead of asking for intimacy when you want it, you notice when she's relaxed, happy, and emotionally open. You create connection through meaningful conversation, gentle touch, and focused attention. You make her feel seen, appreciated, and desired for who she is, not just what she can give you physically. This naturally leads to moments where intimacy feels like the natural next step.
Here's a crucial insight. Women need to feel emotionally filled up before they can give physically. If she's stressed, overwhelmed, or feeling disconnected from you, approaching her for intimacy will feel like another demand on her already depleted energy. But when she feels cherished, supported, and emotionally connected, intimacy becomes something she wants to share, not something she feels obligated to provide.
This is why timing and awareness are everything. The man who pays attention to her emotional rhythms, who notices when she's feeling overwhelmed and offers support without expecting anything in return, who creates moments of connection and joy, he becomes irresistible to her because she starts associating his presence with feeling good, feeling safe, feeling appreciated.
But here's what's really powerful. When you approach intimacy from this place of emotional intelligence rather than physical need, you're not just getting better responses from her. You're actually becoming a more attractive man. Because a man who can read emotional cues, who can create safety and connection, who doesn't need validation from sex, that's rare. That's the kind of man women fantasize about and fight to keep.
Let's address the elephant in the room. What about when you're feeling physically frustrated, or when the intimacy in your relationship has diminished? The answer isn't to become more aggressive or more needy. The answer is to focus on rebuilding the emotional and psychological conditions that make her want intimacy with you. This might mean having honest conversations about what she needs to feel connected and safe.
And sometimes it means looking at yourself honestly. Are you bringing stress, negativity, or neediness into the relationship? Are you taking care of your own emotional and physical health? Are you interesting, engaging, and growing as a person? Women are attracted to men who are living full, purposeful lives, not men whose main focus is getting physical needs met.
Here's the transformation this creates. When you stop asking for intimacy and start creating the conditions where she craves it, everything changes. She stops feeling pressured and starts feeling pursued. She stops feeling like a sexual object and starts feeling like a desired woman. The quality of your intimate connection improves dramatically because she's fully present and genuinely wanting to be there.
But there's an even deeper level to this. When you understand female desire and approach intimacy with emotional intelligence, you're not just improving your sex life. You're creating the kind of deep, passionate connection that most couples lose after the honeymoon phase. You become the man who knows how to keep the fire alive long-term because you understand what feeds it.
The most sexually satisfied women are those who feel completely safe, deeply understood, and genuinely desired by their partners. They're not worried about being judged, used, or pressured. They feel free to express their sexuality because they trust that their partner sees and values all of them, not just their body. This creates a feedback loop where intimacy keeps getting better instead of becoming routine.
Here's your practical guide. First, focus on emotional connection before physical connection. Ask about her day, listen without trying to fix her problems, show genuine interest in her thoughts and feelings. Second, create physical affection without expectation. Hold her hand, give her non-sexual touches, show physical affection that's not leading anywhere. This builds trust and relaxation.
Third, pay attention to her stress levels and emotional state. If she's overwhelmed, focus on supporting and caring for her rather than adding to her burden. Fourth, create romance and anticipation. Plan special moments, leave thoughtful notes, surprise her with gestures that show you've been thinking about her. This builds the emotional foundation that makes physical intimacy natural.
And finally, communicate your desires in a way that includes her emotional needs. Instead of, "I want sex," try, "I miss being close with you," or "I love the way we connect when we're intimate." This frames physical intimacy as emotional connection rather than just physical release. It makes her feel wanted for who she is, not just what she can provide.
The ultimate truth is this: when you approach intimacy as something you create together rather than something you take from her, when you make it about connection rather than just satisfaction, when you prioritize her emotional experience as much as your physical needs, she becomes your enthusiastic partner rather than your reluctant obligation.
Remember, the goal isn't just to get more intimacy, it's to create the kind of intimate connection where both of you feel fulfilled, appreciated, and genuinely excited to be together. When you master the psychology of female desire, you don't just improve your relationship, you become the kind of man that women dream about being with.
Your challenge this week is to focus entirely on emotional connection without any expectation of physical intimacy. Notice how she responds when you give her attention, affection, and appreciation without wanting anything in return. Watch how this changes the dynamic between you and creates natural opportunities for deeper connection.
If this video opened your eyes to what you've been missing in your approach to intimacy, hit that like button and subscribe for more psychology that transforms relationships. Check out our previous video on understanding female psychology, because the better you understand how her mind works, the better you'll be at creating the connection you both crave. We're Sophia and James, and we're here to help you build love that lasts.